Today, Britain's criminal cover-up.
They don't do anything about it at all.
1 million young girls have been victimized by Muslim men.
It is unspeakable levels of violence.
And the government is looking the other way.
And it's only going to get worse.
And then, from the 9th Ward in New Orleans,
the worst of it is yet to come.
Katrina survivors head to the promised land.
God had prepared everything. Everything was ready.
On today's 700 Club.
Well, welcome to the 700 Club. We've got a lot of important things for you today. One is about Muslim youth, gangs of them, raping young girls and making them sex slaves in England. Nobody doing anything about it. It's an amazing story, and we'll give you the gory details later on in this show. But in the political news, Donald Trump is going to lay out his plans on illegal immigration in a major speech this week in Arizona, after taking some heat from critics who say he's softening his position.
And Hillary Clinton is facing some problems of her own, more of her emails coming to light. But the big issue in this election could still be the economy. Heather Sells has the story.
It may be his signature issue, but the Trump campaign is struggling to defend where the candidate stands on immigration. Last week, Trump showed signs of softening his stance. Now, Trump has announced a major speech on illegal immigration in Arizona on Wednesday. And on the Sunday talk shows, those closest to him on the campaign team defended his position, saying he's been consistent.
No amnesty, no citizenship, no more sanctuary cities.
We're going to secure the border. No path to legalization, no path to citizenship unless people leave the country.
To underscore his tough stance, Trump hit the campaign trail this weekend with the family of a young woman who was killed by a drunk driver. That driver was an illegal immigrant who posted bond and disappeared.
We will use immigration law to prevent crimes, and we will not wait until some innocent American has been harmed or killed.
On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton spent the weekend campaigning in the Hamptons in New York with a fresh round of troublesome emails to defend. The emails were released after a lawsuit by the conservative group Citizens United, who shared them with ABC News. They show what the group says is more evidence that allies of the Clinton Foundation got special treatment when Clinton was Secretary of State. The State Department and Clinton campaign both told ABC that foundation donors had no special influence or received favors. But one issue may loom the largest for both candidates: Americans' pocketbooks. The latest government report revised economic growth downward slightly. It's now under 1% for the year. Some economists believe it's picked up in the last few months, but it's still the weakest recovery since World War II. And a stark reminder that the economy has not yet achieved strong, sustainable growth since the recession ended. Heather Sells, CBN News.
It gets curiouser and curiouser, as they say, what's going on. Well, there are other things in the news that are just so seamy, having to do with Huma Abedin, whose mother was a key writer in some anti-woman publication, Muslim publication, defending some of the abhorrent practices of the Muslims. You just could not believe it, but this person would be vetting some of the key issues. She might wind up being White House Chief of Staff. And can you imagine somebody with that mindset talking about anti-woman? It's unbelievable. You wonder if the American people are ever going to open their eyes. I don't know if they will. Well, Iran is taking a major step to protect one of its nuclear facilities, a place called Fordo. Wendy Griffith has that story.
That's right, Pat. Iran has deployed a Russian missile defense system at its underground Fordo nuclear facility. State TV trucks showed the trucks arriving at the location with missile launchers being aimed toward the sky. But Iran didn't say if the S-300 system is fully operational. Russia began delivering the system to Iran earlier this year under a contract signed in 2007. The delivery had been held up by international sanctions over Iran's nuclear program. Those sanctions have now been lifted. Critics say it's more proof that Iran plans to build nuclear weapons even though Iran denies it. Pat, is that a surprise?
No surprise at all. The thing of it is, when they weaponize a nuclear missile, they've got they want the nuclear bomb. They haven't quite got yet a nuclear bomb, and they want to weaponize those missile launchers to carry the bombs. And there's some thought they have technology to do MIRVing, which is mean multiple entry on missiles. So they're doing everything they can to get ready to go. And they've made it quite clear that they're going to try to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Wendy?
Pat, here at home, the fatal shooting of the cousin of NBA star Dwayne Wade has once again focused attention on the brutal violence in Chicago. Wade's cousin was shot Friday while pushing her baby in a stroller near a school.
She was just another mother who wanted her children to get an education just like any good parent would. When will enough be enough? The answer is clear to me. It's clear, crystal clear. The gun offenders that choose to do this time and time again, we have to hold them accountable. We need to put them in jail and keep them there.
Wade, his mother and aunt also spoke out about the tragedy.
It's about a whole coming together and understanding that, it's deep rooted. And this is something that didn't start today. This is something that's not going to end tomorrow.
We're still going to try to help these people to transform their minds and give them a different direction so this thing won't keep happening. We're still going to help and empower people like the one who senselessly shot my niece in the head.
So far this year, there have been over 440 homicides in Chicago, more than 80% higher than 2 years ago. Gangs roam in many of the neighborhoods where the violence is concentrated and unemployment and poverty are high. A suicide bomber in Indonesia tried and failed to carry out an attack at a church Sunday. Authorities say the bomber charged a priest at the altar, hoping to detonate the bomb in his backpack. The bomb never went off, thankfully. He kept trying to chase down the priest until the congregation finally stopped him. Indonesia is the world's most populous Muslim nation. It has suffered a series of deadly attacks by Muslim jihadists. They should be dreaming about becoming doctors or teachers, farmers or artists, but that's not the case in Gaza. Their kindergarten students are being taught something very different. Instead of dreaming of living, they're dreaming of dying. And as Chris Mitchell reports, their graduation ceremony earlier this year revealed the chilling truth about what really happens in Palestinian schools.
This is not your typical kindergarten graduation. You're watching the graduating class at the Islamic Al-Huda Kindergarten in Gaza. The research group Memory posted the video after finding it on the kindergarten's YouTube account and Facebook page. The video showed the children dressed up in Islamic Jihad fatigues, handed mock assault rifles, and beginning to go through military drills. The young commandos staged an attack on an Israeli tank. They planted mines and launched mortar shells. Then comes a simulated raid on an Israeli army base. First, they kill the sentry, then enter the base and emerge with a kidnapped Israeli soldier as their prisoner. Some of the action incorporates helmet cam footage. This reveals the type of training given to some young Palestinian children. Afterward, the Islamic Jihad leader in Gaza delivered a speech saying the children were sending a message of love. Then he blamed Israel. The goal is to train children to become future soldiers against Israel, the Zionist enemy. The teenage MC of the event left no doubt of their mission.
من شفير النار ومن نفير الدم يطلع الصباح.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Wow, Pat, it's heartbreaking to see these little ones be indoctrinated with hate at such an early age.
It's heartbreaking, Wendy, but worse than that, it's heartbreaking to think that intelligent people in Europe and the United States are going for this divestment from Israel because of the Palestinians. They are training these kids to hate and kill. And when you grow up with that, sure enough, you're going to find hatred and killing. And it has nothing to do with the atrocities of the Israelis or the atrocities of the Americans. It has to do with an inbred hatred, and that is part of that religion. It is not a religion of peace. Well, I've said it over and over and over again. Islam does not mean peace. Salam means peace. Islam means submission. It means submission to the doctrines of the Quran, to the Hadith, and of course Sharia law. But they're taking it one step further. They're training these little babies to kill and to hate and to be martyrs. It just makes you sick at your stomach to think that these little children are being used and set up for cannon fodder, which is what they are. They'll put them in little vests and explosives and run them in some place where they wouldn't be suspected, then they'll blow the installation up. It's horrible to contemplate that a society would be that way. You talk about divestment. Instead of trying to sell out stocks in Israeli companies, what we should be doing is denying the Palestinians any money at all from Western sources until they clean up their act. They cannot be exporting this kind of evil and terror. And then they said at the same ceremony that this is a message of love, some kind of love. Terry?
Irrational. Well, coming up, a story that you'll just have to see to believe, as Pakistanis in Britain are drugging and raping girls as young as 9.
They get sexual kicks out of ruining the most precious possession that those people have, their daughters.
To make matters worse, those speaking out about it are dubbed racist. Stay tuned for an explosive report. That's next.
It's a horrible thing to start the week with. Really is. I mean, I feel almost guilty. But the story of what's coming out of Britain, what these Muslim gangs are doing, is just appalling. And because of political correctness, it's being suppressed in the media and suppressed in the government. It's a huge scandal. Muslim rape gangs. But you may not have heard much about it, as I say, because it's being covered up by the media and the British government. Now we're about to show the whole story, and it is shocking. Dale Hurd brings us this incredible story from London.
Some scandals are so massive that they're simply hard to believe. But this one is true. As many as 1 million white English children may have been the victims of Muslim rape gangs, better known as grooming gangs, in towns up and down Great Britain. Policy analyst George Igler.
I mean, when you counter an issue that is just so unbelievable, just so outside your frame of reference and understanding, the immediate human reaction is just not want to believe it at all.
Perhaps even harder to believe is that while there have been prosecutions, British authorities have still not stopped this criminal activity. There's a particular problem involving Pakistani heritage men who target young, vulnerable white English girls. Not my words, but a member of Parliament, Jack Straw, who also said these Pakistani heritage men view white English girls as, quote, easy meat. This is when some shout racism, but here are the facts. Calculations based on convictions show that a British Muslim male is 170 times more likely to be part of a sex grooming gang than a non-Muslim. And there are no recorded instances of non-Muslims doing this to Muslim girls as part of a criminal enterprise. In one local jurisdiction, it was estimated that 6 out of 7 Muslim males either knew about or were part of a grooming gang.
What you do not have is any example of non-Muslim men targeting Muslim girls for this organized form of abuse. So the argument that this crime exists everywhere is not only false, but is being deliberately cultivated by the media and by the government inquiry that is kicking the can down the road.
The grooming gangs have been traced back as far as the late 1980s. At-risk white English girls, often from broken homes and some as young as 9 years old, were wooed or groomed by teenage Muslim boys called Romeos, and even by groups of Muslim men who hung around school gates. The plan was to make the girl feel important. She was given gifts and drugs, but she was being groomed to be a drug-addicted prostitute. Then came the gang rapes. The girls were threatened with death if they tried to flee.
It's not just sexual abuse. It is unspeakable levels of violence. Victims being raped with knives, victims being raped with bottles, victims having their tongue nailed to tables. These are sometimes girls who are being picked up from children's homes on a Friday, are being raped during the course of the weekend by hundreds of men, and then returned with bleeding groins back to the children's homes on a Monday morning, and they don't do anything about it at all.
Christine's goddaughter was preyed on by the grooming gangs and is helping girls through the group Women Against Grooming.
They pulled up by the side of her in cars. They tried to get her in the car. They were talking to her, come on, come with us, we'll take you here, we'll take you there.
Were you saying that the authorities make it sound like it's the English girl's fault?
Yeah, or the parents' fault. It's your fault because you haven't got control of your child.
If you are a young English girl, particularly between the ages of 9 and 14, and you find yourself subject to the perversions of Muslim men, you effectively exist in a country where the forces of law and order don't exist at all.
Stephen Lennon, also known as Tommy Robinson, former leader of the English Defence League, was just a young boy in the town of Luton when he learned a family member had been victimized by a grooming gang.
My cousin was raped and she was found naked running from the Muslim community, aged 13. The police wouldn't help. All the police would say is she's a drug addict. She was a drug addict because they got her hooked on drugs after grooming and raping her.
Some say grooming gangs originate from a particular region of Pakistan, but others point out that the Quran encourages Muslims to take enemy women as sex slaves, and that Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old wife. ISIS defends sexual slavery as Islamic, saying enslaving the families of the infidels and taking their women as concubines is a firmly established aspect of the Sharia, or Islamic law. The reason these crimes were covered up and continue to this day is political correctness. No one wanted to be called a racist. The definitive book on this scandal is Easy Meat by Peter McLaughlin, who declined an on-camera interview for safety reasons. He told us journalists would not speak about it because the perpetrators were mostly dark-skinned and Muslim. Childcare professionals used political correctness as an omerta, a code of silence concerning what the public was allowed to know.
These girls are the victims of a multicultural revolution, and it's certainly an indication of the fact that this accusation of racism is potentially the most powerful political weapon known to man. This is also an example of what can happen in a country of 60 million where the press just refuse to report, where the cries of all these agencies fail to merely discuss what's going on, and it's only going to get worse for this reason.
The cover-up was eventually exposed, yet the grooming gangs continue to operate. One victim told a British newspaper, "Nothing has changed, not in the slightest. It's still the same scale as before."
They get sexual kicks out of ruining the most precious possession that those people have, their daughters.
Stephen Lennon warned that there will be repercussions.
But there will be a lot of blood spilled in this country, and it'll be on the hands of our leaders. And there'll come a time when they'll realise what they've done. And the country's people will realise what they've done as well. They've sold us out, they've destroyed our nation, they've destroyed our culture.
Dale Hurd, CBN News, London.
Thanks, Dale. When will the West wake up? Well, it wake up to the fact that we're under assault by a determined minority of people who are intent on destroying the civilization we enjoy, the freedoms we enjoy, and the lifestyle we enjoy. And actually, in the process, the life that we would like to hold on to, they want to kill us as well. Al-Sisi in Egypt was speaking to a group at the university in Cairo, and he says, do you think that 1.6 Muslims is going to kill another 5 or 6 billion people on earth? And that's what these people are set on doing. They're going to enslave or kill everybody. That's the matter. And we cover it up, and we've got it in the United States. We've got it in the White House. And as I mentioned, we did a piece on Huma Abedin's mother and the stuff that she is writing about women and what she believes in genital mutilation and some of those other horrible practices. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to stand up and take a stand, a brutal one in terms of ISIS. We need to go in there and literally kill them. There's no other way to do it. It's a military engagement, and we have to destroy the enemy. And as long as we allow them to flourish, they're going to flourish with money, and they're going to bring their twisted ideology to the rest of us. Wake up, America. Terry?
Well, coming up, a pastor who had to lead his congregation out of the path of a hurricane twice.
The news reporters showed how tremendous this storm would be, a Category 5. And everybody knew that at some point, New Orleans would flood.
Hear how he found his promised land when we come back.
"11 years ago, I remember it well, August 29th, 2005, excuse me, Americans watched in horror as Hurricane Katrina flooded the streets of New Orleans. Well, Pastor Willie Monet was among those shocked by scenes of devastation. But Willie wasn't just seeing falling rain upon rising waters. He was seeing the destruction of the place that he and his congregation called home.
On January 20th, 2005, Pastor Willie Monet's sermon had a troubling prediction for his congregation in New Orleans.
And God is really having mercy on America, really. Actually, you know, I mean, and tremendously, brother. I mean, with all the things you see going on with the weather and all and stuff like that, New Orleans could be underwater 20, 30 feet in a split second.
Pastor Monet started the inner city church in 1996, and it became a safe haven for many from drugs and violence. Located east of New Orleans in the city's 9th Ward, he named it Smoking for Jesus Ministries.
Revelation 3:16, Jesus states, "I'd rather you cold or hot, but if you're lukewarm," he said, he will spill you out of his mouth. So we name it Smoking for Jesus Ministry, on fire for the Lord, red hot.
For Pastor Monet, the church was family, and he was determined to keep them together and safe. In faith, he and members of the church started preparing for the impending disaster.
We haven't even gotten into a fraction of this thing yet. And believe me, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. We still have a 150-mile-an-hour hurricane out there, and the worst of it is yet to come.
They were calling the storm Katrina.
The news reporters showed how tremendous this storm would be, a Category 5. And everybody knew that at some point, New Orleans would flood.
On Saturday, August 27th, 2005, the order came to evacuate.
From the time that pastor told us to start boarding up, we were ripping and running and making sure we had enough stuff and supplies and materials. And you could imagine you're boarding up everything. Then when you finish boarding, you got to run home and try to hurry up and pack and get ready, get your family together and get ready to get out of Dodge. So it was pretty hectic.
Sunday morning, there was an eerie feeling there. Everything was quiet, and knowing that something was going to happen tremendous in that city.
That morning, a caravan of over 40 cars carrying over 200 church members left New Orleans and headed west towards Texas.
We got in the cars together and expected to take a journey that would probably only take about 5 to 6 hours. It turned into 12 hours.
They came to a retreat center in Lumberton, Texas. The first thing they did was hold a service.
God blessed that even in Lumberton, we were able to use their facilities. One of the things that really stood out about the whole ordeal is that no matter where we went, we always did church services.
By Wednesday, they were able to watch news reports of the devastation Katrina and the resulting storm surge was inflicting on their city and their neighborhood.
People are just getting so angry, and as you've been watching on TV, the floodwaters are still rising in New Orleans this morning.
Total devastation. Around Biloxi and Gulfport, a couple of streets in, it sounds like it's flattened.
New Orleans residents are still fleeing what can only be described as hell on earth.
The water was up to street signs. That was a reality for us that, wow, our city is underwater. Said, what do you think we should do? I mean, we're basically homeless. We have nowhere to go. And so we began to pray.
After 2 weeks living in the cramped quarters of the retreat center, some members drove back to New Orleans to survey the damage.
Church took about 4 feet of water. At 90% humidity, everything was molded. All our homes were devastated. We didn't have but 3 days clothes that we took with us for the journey.
They realized there was nothing left for them in New Orleans. Then, just 3 weeks after Katrina, they learned that another storm, Rita, was headed straight for Lumberton.
We didn't know which way to turn, but God did. And he had everything laid out already. All we had to do was just, so to say, take our hands off the wheel and trust him.
They headed further west to the Texas Hill Country. Because of the millions fleeing the storm, a 5-hour drive took them 19 hours. But everywhere they went, they say God provided all they needed for their journey.
Just to see other churches, they open up the doors to us and places just to be able to go, because that's unusual to run around with 200 people and then trying to find somewhere to house them. Every step of the journey, everything we needed was always there, and no matter from food, from clothing.
40 days after leaving New Orleans, the church found what they call their promised land in the Texas Hill Country town of Marble Falls. It just so happened a brand new apartment complex had just opened.
Nobody lived in it. They needed people to live in their apartment complex. So God sent all these families that needed a place. We didn't have any furniture, so everything was given at that time to 52 families or more. That was God's miraculous given manna in the wilderness.
Eventually, the pastor heard of a nearby property in Burnett, Texas that was for sale, which included a church, land, and several adjacent buildings.
When God opened up this place and the man wanted to sell this place, called us and said that y'all are our ideal match for the property. That's part of this miracle. How would God know that we needed these dormitories, we needed property to build our house, we need a church, we need administration, we need a cafeteria, we need a gymnasium for our children, we need playground. Everything was here already. God had prepared everything. Everything was ready.
Since settling in the area, the church and its members have flourished. Their many ministries have provided vital services to the community. They even opened up a Cajun seafood restaurant, bringing a little taste of New Orleans to the Texas Hill Country.
It was definitely a faith journey because we didn't know where we were going. We knew that God had a plan. We knew that God had a plan.
I say like Moses, I didn't do this, God did it. We didn't. People ask us all the time, how did you choose Marble Falls? We didn't know it existed. You're talking walking by faith now, just trusting God.
Boy, I was reading the story of Abraham. God said, you leave your father's house and you go to the land I'm going to show you. And these folks moved out by faith. What a wonderful story. It's like Old Testament coming alive in New Orleans. What a wonderful story.
In the midst of the storm.
Yeah, in the midst of the storm. And the fact that here was a place, here's an apartment complex that needed people, here's a church that needed people, here's everything all laid out for them. God had it prepared. Isn't that great? When you look after him, you know, Abraham said, you know, he called him Jehovah Jireh, and the word means he that sees ahead. And God is the God who sees ahead. He sees down the road what's ahead of you, and if you will follow him, the Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll direct your paths. He sure did it with that church. What a wonderful story. Terry.
It is. Well, still ahead, the story of a group of friends about to get the surprise of their lives. We'll go inside the new side-splitting comedy, Laughing at the Moon.
Welcome back to the 700 Club. Some churches are taking first steps toward possibly leaving the Church of England over issues like homosexuality. Representatives of almost a dozen congregations are planning to meet to develop an alternative Anglican church this week. The London Telegraph reports organizers have no immediate plans to break away yet, but they're preparing to do so if the church continues down a liberal path, like offering a blessing service for same-sex unions. CBN's Orphans Promise is working with Youth with a Mission to feed more than 1,000 children. It's happening in the slums of the Yangon region in the country of Myanmar. Children are fed 3 times a week from the large batches of soy milk. The families are also given training on health and hygiene, and education is provided for the children as well. Orphans Promise hopes this will change the conditions in Myanmar so that children can reach their full God-given abilities. And you can find out more about what CBN is doing around the world by going to cbn.com/international. Pat and Terry will be back right after this.
Well, have you ever had a roommate that was just a little off? That's what happens in the new movie, Laughing at the Moon. But there's a twist in this story. Maybe the so-called weird one isn't the one who really needs the help.
Natalie Baclay is looking for something.
I'm waiting for someone you'd never expect to have the answers to life.
And for the perfect roommate.
Let's just hope the new roommate is dull.
Why do you need a new roommate anyhow?
Just how much do you think it costs for me to keep up with my lifestyle?
Iris doesn't look like the answer to anything.
Ready to meet the encyclopedia from the Happydale Sanitarium?
I'm Iris Credo. Honey, ain't nobody like Miss Iris.
They could each be what the other needs.
You see life in a whole new way. I'm going on a date tonight.
Well, clearly you need help. And obviously I'm the only one qualified to help you get ready for your date. Let's go.
But I thought I was ready.
This ought to be good.
Where have I been all your life? Presenting the new Iris.
Well, joining us now with more is Alyssa Addison. She's the writer, the director of Laughing at the Moon, and she's also the actress who plays the role. Iris, welcome. It's so nice to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Terry.
At one point, you were a counselor in a domestic violence center. How in the world did you go from that to the film business?
Well, my heart has always been with film and acting, and I started acting when I was about 4 years old.
Yeah.
And so it was always a passion that I did on the side anyway.
So where did the inspiration for Laughing at the Moon come from?
Well, I wrote it first as a play, and we did it in Southern California and North Carolina, and then converted it to a screenplay, and here we are.
How did it turn into a movie? That's a big transition to go from just writing something. I mean, when you wrote it, you didn't really know whether it would ever become anything. You wrote it just out of your own creative spirit. How did it get to where it is now?
Well, we had gotten to meet Alex Kendrick and got to go down on the Courageous site when they were filming Courageous, and Bob Scott, who filmed Fireproof and Courageous and War Room, he filmed our movie, and so it's just kind of one miracle after another.
Talk a little bit about your character, Iris. I mean, here you are, you're in all of these roles. You've written this, you're directing it, and you're Iris. But really, acting is what started you off at 4 years old. Tell me about this role.
Right. Well, Iris is kind of a quirky, crazy person. You find out later why she's like that. But inside of her, there's a heart for God, and you find out later, you know, what really moves her. And it's an example of Jesus laying his life down for us. It's about sacrificial love. It's kind of a love letter to people, just to let them know just what kind of love that was that Jesus had for us when he laid down his life for us, along with a little humor and wit, but then a very heartfelt, touching story to minister the gospel to them.
So is it laughter as well as moved to tears?
Yes.
In it? Yeah. What was it like for you? What is it like? You're still in the whole issue of promoting the film and all of that, to play all of these roles, the writer, the director, the actress.
Well, next time I think I'll let someone else direct, and I'll write and act, because it was really quite crazy, but it was a wonderful experience, and we were so blessed to have Aaron Bethea from Fireproof, and just so many people that stepped in to help us, and And now we have a lot of cities asking for it, and we don't have the resources to go to all these places, so we're just praying that God opens those up and opens up those doors, just like he already has.
So you're opening in a limited number of cities, right? Tell me about the opening.
Well, we're opening September 9th in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Atlanta, Georgia. And then on September 16th, it will go to Orange County, Los Angeles, and Riverside in California. And I believe we'll go to Asheville, North Carolina after that. And then wherever God opens up the resources and time after that.
So how does that happen? If people want to see the film that we're talking about, Laughing at the Moon, how can they initiate the process for their area?
Well, they can go on our website, laughingatthemoon.com, and they can click on our Bring It to Your City button, and it will give you all the instructions about how to go about that.
Is that complicated? Is it something anybody can do?
No, anybody can do that. Usually it takes about 500 people in an area, and a couple of churches show the trailer, and that can happen pretty easily.
Boy, I guess so. Well, that's awesome. I mean, what was directing like for you? Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Hard to say when you're also the actress.
It's a little crazy, but Bob Scott was the cinematographer there. He helped me quite a bit, and just a learning process. I had directed a lot of plays, so it was a little bit different than that. And I had acted in films before, so I had a little bit of knowledge, but then had a lot of help.
What do you see your future? I mean, God has put you in such a strategic place. You've had a love for all of this, and in some way you kind of went away and did a practical counselor sort of thing, and now you're back in the creative field. Is it something you want to keep doing?
Oh, yes. We have other films planned, and can't wait to do another one. And this is kind of directed at women. I mean, anybody can go, but it's kind of a chick flick comedy drama, and so it really resonates with women. And we're hoping to do more like that.
Did you have to do the selection of the other actors and actresses?
Well, I had a casting director, but yeah, we also had some say in that, and just can't wait to see what God has next.
Well, it seems to me that's sort of the theme of your life. Can't wait to see what God has next.
Yes.
And here you are doing the thing that you love so much, and that's been a part of your life since you were a child. There's almost a message in your personal story also to people who maybe have a dream that doesn't seem very possible. I mean, God really resurrected this.
Oh, yes. There was many deaths to the vision, as Pastor Fred Musser down in Georgia always used to tell me. He's also in our movie. And then God would just resurrect things. So it's about never giving up and trusting in him for his timing.
Yeah. What do you want people, when they come to see Laughing at the Moon, what do you want them to take away from it?
Well, I want them to laugh. I want them to cry. And I especially want them to be reminded of the amazing, unfathomable love that God has for us.
Yeah. Be inspired by the greatness of God.
Be inspired, and for people that don't know him, that they would come to know him is what my prayer is.
Mm-hmm. Well, Alyssa, you have a wonderful personal story, and the movie sounds like it's really inspiring and fun at the same time. You can go even further into Laughing at the Moon by checking out Alyssa's Facebook Live interview. All you have to do for that is go to facebook.com/700club. And to see if the movie's playing near you, log on to cbn.com. And as she was sharing with us, you can make it happen in your area if you'd like to see it. So thank you so much. So nice to have you here. We wish you the best.
Well, thank you so much.
God bless your efforts. Well, still ahead, we have an all-new edition of Bring It On. Carlos asks, do you think terrorists will use one of their nukes on Israel? Pat's going to weigh in on that and more as soon as we return.
To see this week's top on-demand videos, go to cbn.com.
Well, welcome back. We're so glad to have you with us on the 700 Club. We've got some more good stuff for you, including this story about City. City panicked when doctors told her that her son needed surgery, an operation that she and her husband could never afford.
City remembers the day her 2-year-old son, Adia, was playing with his favorite cars, when suddenly he started to cry.
I found a lump on Adia's lower abdomen, and it was about the size of an egg. He couldn't stop crying. I couldn't help but cry too.
City rushed Adia to the local clinic, where she learned that he had developed a hernia. Adia's dad sells snacks at a factory in this remote village where they live. He took an extra construction job to try to save for his son's surgery, but there was no way they could afford it.
We don't have government health care here. We tried to borrow money from our neighbors, but still, there wasn't enough. I wondered where I could get that much money.
So this desperate Muslim couple looked outside their religion to an Indonesian shaman for help.
Shaman gave us some healing water for Adia to drink, but that didn't work.
Then CBN came to their village offering free operations. Siti quickly went to sign up. That same weekend, a surgeon repaired Adia's hernia. A week later, he was running and playing with his big brother.
Adia can now sleep well with no more pain. Thank you to CBN and to all the doctors. This has been the best thing that has ever happened to us.
You know, the wonderful thing is you can reach out around the world to Indonesia and take a little boy who's got a hernia, whose life would be impaired, maybe die at an early age, and give him a life-giving surgery. Well, you're doing that to children all around the world, and you do it through Operation Blessing, through CBN's international outreach. And for those of you who want to participate, and we'd like you to do it, I'd like you so much to join the 700 Club. It's just $20 a month. That's all. 65 cents a day, $20. And you can be a member. And I want to send you this, if you haven't already gotten it, Victory Through Life's Storms. The DVD with some extraordinary testimonies, exciting testimonies.
Can I tell you, Kathleen, who lives in Colville, Washington, said, Victory Through Life Storms is excellent. Wonderful to hear and see the testimonies and the teachings. As I've done in the past by getting additional copies to share, I'm trusting the Lord to touch more lives for him. You know, that's a great thing because at certain levels you get multiple copies.
That's right.
I've sent them to friends as well. And people, especially when they're in need, I think are very
it's
encouraged.
the answer, absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Time to bring it on.
Let's do it.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay, this first one, Pat, comes from Carlos, who says, Dear Pat, North Korea has really been in the 700 Club news lately. Do you think terrorists will use one of their nukes on Israel? Wasn't the Clinton administration responsible for allowing the nuclear technology to be released to them in the first place, even though the CIA and others protested because of the risk they would use it for nukes? The State Department claimed it was worth the risk.
Oh, well, you're confusing two things, I think. One, North Korea, and the other, Iran. North Korea, I don't think has the intention of bombing Israel. It's too far away. But they do have an intention of bombing our troops in the Korean Peninsula or in Japan or in Europe. There is no question they're a rogue regime, and they're going to use that as blackmail. On the other hand, the Iranians they believe in the Mahdi, they believe in chaos before the Mahdi comes over, and they want to create that chaos, and the chaos will involve the destruction, total destruction of Israel. So they've made it clear what they want to do when they get a nuke, all right?
Okay, this is Lucy, who says sugar is listed as grams on labels instead of teaspoons or tablespoons. So how does that translate? How do we make sure we aren't having too much?
Well, you have to figure out how many grams are in a teaspoon, but I just would tell you, limit your sugar. I mean, there's sugar in everything. And we've got a guest coming in a couple of days who's a doctor talking about, you know, your brain on grains and so on. He's talking about all the things that create chaos in our brains and in our gut. And I think it's very important to understand the role of sugar. Sugar is a killer. And so it's in cereals. You see sugar pops and sugared frosted flakes and all that stuff. It's loaded with sugar. You've also got high fructose corn syrup. You've got various other kinds of sugar. You've got syrup, you've got honey, you've got all these things. They're all sugar. And I just think the big thing is to cut down on all of it.
Well, then on top of that, there are so many foods that turn to sugar.
Absolutely.
The carbs and
sure, all the simple carbohydrates turn into sugar. Yeah.
Okay, this is Curtis, Pat, who says, I was watching the 700 Club, and Pat was asked whether we should base our tithe on gross income or net after taxes. Pat replied that we should tithe on the net, since the withholdings belong to the government. The Bible teaches we're to tithe on the first fruits of our labor, which means to me that we should give to God first out of our income before we consider taxes. Since taxes are deductible and therefore individuals often receive refunds on taxes withheld, is not the correct answer to tithe on our gross income instead of net.
Well, you caught me on that one. Jim Baker used to be Secretary of the Treasury. I met with him and we were discussing this very matter, and he said that Ronald Reagan felt that you should be able to deduct 10% of your gross. And Jim Baker said that's the law, and he's right. You can deduct up to 50% of your contributions to certain approved charities, and indeed, it would be a tithe on your gross. And so perhaps I misspoke, but you know, you don't need to count your taxes, but the truth is you'll get the money back.
But when you get the money back, you're supposed to tithe on that, right?
Well, not really. One time, you know, the thing of it is, well, we're not under legalism. I mean, all this business about you got to be legalistic. You know, I years ago, I set 3 tithes as 3/10 as a thing, 30% as a goal, and the government allows you to give 50%. So, you know.
Isn't that biblical thing to give joyfully? I mean, to give with the right
heart. Not only joyfully,
heart.
but give tithes, offerings, and first fruits, and so forth. So that they had at least 4 or 5 tithes in the Bible. That when you get it all out there was a lot of giving, but they didn't have taxes that they had to pay. All right. Yeah. He said, but some of them did. I want to. Before you catch me on that one, wait a minute. Initially they didn't, then they started having taxes.
Wait, that question's next week.
Yeah, I would. Before I get another bunch of letters.
Yeah.
Early on they didn't, later on they did. Okay.
Okay, this is Saracino, who says, what happens to your spirit when you die if you're a Christian? Do you go to be present with the Lord, or does your spirit die until Jesus comes again?
Well, there's some people teach so-called slow sleep. The Bible does not teach that. The Apostle Paul said, I'm in the strait betwixt two, whether to depart and be with the Lord, or to remain in the flesh, which is needful. 2, depart, be with the Lord, remain in the flesh, needful for you. Not 3, not 4, not soul sleep, not purgatory, none of that stuff. You depart, and Jesus said to the thief on the cross, this day you will be with me in paradise. All right?
Okay, I want to hear the answer to this one. Shane wants to know, what's the average amount of children that a Christian family should have?
Oh, many.
127, right?
The average number of children. Well, I had 2 boys and 2 girls. I've got 14 grandchildren now. I'm going to have, I think, 9 great-grandchildren.
Wow, that's amazing.
I think lots of them, you know, lots of them.
And enjoy it.
Happy is the man whose quiver is full of them. So, all right.
All the time for today.
Yeah, there's no biblical standard for that one. We leave you with our power minute. It comes from Psalm 46. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. For Terry and Wendy and all of us, this is Pat Robertson. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.